If I may have your attention, please. At this time, we're going to begin the funeral services here at the cemetery for Dr. Susan J. Katz. As we begin the service, I would ask if any of you has a cell phone or any other noise-making device, please turn them off at this time. Officiating the service here today is Rabbi Shlomo Tenenbaum. Thank you.
We start with there's a blessing we say in the cemetery. So I'm going to say that in Hebrew and then English. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yatzar eschem medin v'zon v'chilkal eschem medin v'hemis eschem medin v'yodea mispar kulchem medin hu osid l'hachiyoschem l'kaim eschem medin Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hamesim atah gibur li'olam mechayim mesim atah rav lo'oshia mechalkal chaim b'chesed mechayim mesim merachamim rabim somech noifim rofei cholim matzir asurim kaim nasoy li'shnei afar mikhamochem al gorosam midom aloch Melech Meimis Umahayim Matzmiach Yeshua V'Nemanatol Achayos Meisim. We say, blessed is God, King of the universe, who gives us life with a purpose, nourishes and sustains our life with a purpose, and takes us back with a purpose. God knows the sum total of how long we were here, what our job is in this world, and God will also restore and resuscitate us with a purpose. Blessed is God who resuscitates the dead. It's a fundamental Jewish belief that though the body is temporary, the soul is eternal, and so we're saying goodbye to the body, but her soul continues on. Mizmor LeDavid Adonai Roi Lo Achsar Binos Deshi Yarbitzeno Me Menuchos Yina Lady Nafshi Yeshove V'Yanchidi Maglet Tzedek L'man Shemo Gam Ki Elech V'Geit Salmovas Lo Ira Ra Ki Ato Imodi Shivtachom Yishantecha Hemi Nachamuni Taroch Lefane Shulchan Neged Sodorai Dishanta B'Shem En Roshi Kosi Revaya Ach Tov V'Chesed Yurdafuni Kol Yemei Chayei V'Shafti V'Veis Adonai Lo Orach Yomim. Psalm of David, God is my shepherd, I shall not lack. In lush meadows he lays me down. Beside tranquil waters he leads me. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of justice for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley overshadowed by death, I fear no evil, because God is with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. A rod is the hits in life that sometimes we get a patch. And the staff is the thing that holds us up, the support, and it's a comfort to know that even in difficult times, God always is there, and we have friends and loved ones around us that give us that support. You prepare a table before me in full view of my adversaries. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the length of my days, and I shall dwell in the house of God for the length of days. Here today to escort, I think Shoshana Bas-Velvo, Bazev, Shoshana Bazev, to her final reward. And today is Rosh Chodesh, and it's customary not to say eulogies, but somehow the custom has become to share memories and celebrate the memories of the deceased. And Mordechai and Jen, I think, are going to both share words. I don't know who should.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming to celebrate my mom. She was a really wonderful person and very generous of spirit, and she had a lot of friends and family that loved her. She was just a lover of life. She was a foodie, so it's appropriate that she's here next to a restaurant depot area, and she would really approve of this beautiful sort of intimate cemetery and setting. She was also loved planting and gardening, and so if we have a tree above her spot, which is really perfect for her. And it just grateful for my time that I've known her, and she was a wonderful mom. And the last 3 years were very hard, and she's at peace now. Sorry. So we're very grateful that she's resting, and I think she would be happy, to have this wonderful send-off. So thank you very much. Matthew, you want to come on?
My mom was the bravest, most resilient and authentic person I knew. She lost her own father to leukemia when she was 15 years old, and what a loss. Bill Levin, who I obviously never knew, by all accounts, was one of the warmest and most caring people everyone around him knew. He kept the peace between his two otherwise contentious brothers, who were, with Bill, co-founders of the Dairy Delight soft serve ice cream chain that would later be acquired by Dairy Queen. He was beloved to his extended family and to what was then a large, thriving, conservative Jewish community in Rock Island, Illinois. My mom told me only last year how her father would lead the Pesach Seder at her aunt's house, and the tables wound around the entire first floor of the house into the kitchen with her and her many cousins, aunts and uncles participating. As much as I loved my grandmother and had a great relationship with her, my mom and her relationship were complicated. And after her father passed, needless to say, the tensions in the home didn't improve. Nevertheless, my mom toughed it out, as she also toughed out her family's move to Fort Worth, Texas, after her mom remarried, also bringing 3 new stepbrothers to contend with, in addition to being the big sister to her 2 own brothers, Michael and Larry. But like every challenge I saw my mom go through, all reports indicate that she did it with a positivity and a confidence that also inspired many others around her. She met my dad at the University of Texas and worked and studied as my dad went through medical school, his residency in OB-GYN, and opening a private medical practice. She got her master's degree in speech pathology and later taught and obtained her school administrator credentials and became assistant director of special education at Wilmette School District after we relocated to Chicagoland. After that, she again went back to school to get her PhD in educational leadership and was a professor for the last 2 decades of her career at Roosevelt University. At Roosevelt, she was a beloved doctoral advisor to many PhD students from throughout Chicagoland, including one of my own former students from when I taught high school on the south side of Chicago before she was at Roosevelt. Ida, if you're watching, my mom was so proud of you. Although my mom was ostensibly not a religious person, she adored the Kol Nidre service every year, and I'm told relished the trips through West Rogers Park's alleyways to look at the sukkahs during the early years when my sister and I were kids growing up in Evanston. I don't remember those excursions, but now, some 5 years into observant Jewish life, doubtless they left their mark. As I became Shomer Shabbos and started keeping kosher, I was surprised how my mother, a talented cook and, as my sister Will says, a proud foodie, barely scolded me for not eating her food anymore. And she knew how much I used to love her food, above all her carrot cake. And for a strong Jewish mother, exercising restraint on the Jewish mama guilt thing is no small feat. My mom also loved being a celebrated resident of her condo building in Lakeview when Rabbi Notik sent Buchrim from the Masifta to blow shofar for her and her friends on Rosh Hashanah. Despite being in a wheelchair and in the middle of a fierce battle with multiple myeloma, she donned her best shawl and her big smile and enjoyed shofar with my wife and with several Jewish residents of her building. Thank you, Rabbi, for making that miracle happen. The last 3 years have been so hard for my mom and all of us, but she always was happy to see us when we visited. And her spirits were forever upbeat and strong, even to the last days. She couldn't have done it without all the support of her many caretakers, most importantly, my sister Jen, who took on the lion's share of her medical and home support. and expertly managed a team of home caretakers who are with my mom around the clock. Thank you. Also, thank you to my dad, who managed her medications, carefully scrutinizing and organizing the many pills she took every week, and who provided ongoing medical support throughout my mom's cancer battle, also with the shift to hospice in these last weeks. Thank you. Thank you to my uncles, Larry and Michael, who helped manage my mom's finances and regularly met with Jen and I via Zoom or phone with advice and supportive words. To home health workers, Vina, Jean, and Risa, who were with my mom for months and years, and always with kindness and ready attention. Thank you to everyone in the community who has been davening intensely for my mom these years. I have no doubt that she would not have come this far, itself no small miracle, without all of your prayers. Thank you. To so many beloved friends who have hosted us for meals and always inquired about my mom. To Rabbis Jakovsky and Notik, who always had my mom's Hebrew name on the tip of their tongues when giving names for refuah. Thank you. Of course, thank you to Rabbi Tenenbaum for all of your support and advice throughout this whole process. You've literally been a breath of life for me, my Ari, and my mom in countless ways. Thank you. You were my role model when I was your intern at the Ark, and you continue to teach me the humility and chesed that everyone around me knows I'm regularly getting wrong or have what to improve on. Thank you to all our friends and family who could not be here in person but are now watching online. We send you our love and gratitude. And thank you for all your support. Thank you to my wife, Mayuri, for holding all my tears throughout it all, and for all the tremendous love that you always gave to my mom. You both had a very special connection. Thank you to my mother-in-law, Laura, who was very close to my mother and spent many a lovely lunch with her. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, thank you, Ribono Shel Olam, for the blessing of having had the privilege of having had my mom for a mother. Having had my mom for a mother. Thank you.
As mentioned before, today is Rosh Chodesh, the first day of the Jewish month, and so we do a funeral. Funerals are a little toned down. It's it's like a minor holiday, and it's not just any Rosh Chodesh, but today's Rosh Chodesh Adar, and our rabbis tell us Mishanichnas Adar, when the month of Adar comes, Marbim B'Simcha. We're supposed to increase joy and happiness, and so it makes it especially it's a difficult day where it just doesn't fit with the theme of the holiday. And on a personal note, I remember my mother found out when she got sick that she got her diagnosis that took her life, also on Rosh Chodesh Adar. And I remember really wrestling with it in my head, like this just doesn't make sense, that something's wrong about the timing and the whole picture. It's pointed out that the word simcha, joy in Hebrew, is the same letters as the word chamisha, the number 5. And when it comes to times of mourning and sadness, like Tisha B'Av, we have Yom Kippur, which is not a day of mourning per se, but we have chamisha inuyim, different things that we deprive ourselves of, and it's pointed out that it's not by accident. It's the same letters that from the hard times it really opens up how good the good times were, and so when you're blessed to have a wonderful mother and good relationship and a lot of good memories, also saying goodbye is that the simcha turns into those chamisha, and it becomes that much more difficult. And the Rosh Chodesh itself, we celebrate the new Jewish lunar month, where the moon, goes it's always the 15th of the month when it's a full moon, and then it shrinks, and then it gets to its smallest point, and then when it's at that smallest point and it starts to get bigger again, that's the beginning of the new month. That's in the look in the sky tonight. If it's clear, you'll be able to see that. And life is full of these moments of feeling small and diminished, and there's this like little flicker of light, and just remembering that it's going to get better, and we're going to get to another place, and there will be a full moon, even though there's only a tiny reflection right now of light. And like I said, the sadness is always a reflection of the light. If you something is very meaningful to you, you lose. It becomes very meaningful. The good times are that much more meaningful and powerful, and the loss is that much powerful. You lose something that's not all that important to you. The loss and the gain don't weigh in too much. Mordechai and Miari have really become extended family, and by extension, getting to know Jen a little bit today, but and I hope we'll get to know you better as time goes on as well. Mordechai and I, we have a routine. We usually get together to study every Sunday. And after he has his coffee and his bathroom break, then our routine is he always asks me, "How's your sister?" Because I usually I have a sister who's disabled that I visit before I come, and then I ask him, "How's mom?" And it's something stood out to me that every week he would describe, he said, we ate this together, we had this moment together, and there were like a lot of beautiful moments, and very animated and beautiful, and it, and despite the fact that she has some pretty, harrowing medical things going on these past several years. A while back, I had a chance to discuss some end-of-life issues with Dr. Katz, and there's some fairly major decisions had to be made, and difficult, kind of decisions that no matter what you did could have been a pretty bad decision. And at the time we decided to take a certain course of time that, bought several months. And I have to take a moment out just to say I was very impressed with Dr. Katz's kindness throughout this whole thing, and I think also with with the deceased, it probably couldn't have been easy for either of them in some ways, and both of them really stepped up to the plate, and the kindness was extraordinary, and it something that's very special, moved me. But we thank God, the decision we made a while back bought us some time, and I have on my phone, Mordechai sends me a liberal amount of WhatsApp, so he sent me a picture of his mother on Sukkot holding a lulav and an esrog, and I keep that picture. It means a lot to me that so and it really underscores that how precious time is. Another hours, another mitzvah, another moment with people that you love. So, I feel privileged to have been able to participate in kind of buying that little bit of extra time, and it was really good quality time and beautiful time. She on the folder, I think she asked for donations to Hayas, which was a organization that has a special place in her heart. And it struck me what was Hayas. What they stand for is helping Jews who had come from a harsh place and trying to find a better life, and helping them resettle and giving them all the support and assistance that they need to have a better life. And while right now we're escorting her from a harsh life with a harsh illness to a better place. And so, she'll, in the highest department in heaven, will greet her, help her resettle, and she's right now not suffering and not in pain and not in Gan Eden with Kadosh Baruch Hu, and like I said, she has wonderful children and mitzvahs and all kinds of good things, and she's very blessed. They have beautiful children and beautiful relationship with her children, and she left the world knowing she was loved. So may her memory be a blessing. And okay, no.
As the cemetery proceeds with their work, just a couple quick announcements. I want to make sure everyone has a funeral service folder. They are available if you didn't receive one. The family will be sitting the traditional week at Mordecai and Myrie's home, 6833 North Kedzie. Days and times are all indicated on the service folder. For those of you watching online, the information's available on the site that you're currently on. Also, to reiterate what the rabbi had said, the family has asked that memorial donations be made to the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. That information's included as well. For those of you watching online, the link and that information's on the website as well. Thank you.
While they're putting the cover, I'm going to say Eishes Chayil in place, because we're not going to say Kel Mole. So, Eishes Chayil mi yimtza rachok mipnei michra bata le'bailo shalolo sar Maus hu tovelo ra kol yimei chayeho Tor sher tzemer upishtem tas bechefes kapeho Haisa kanios oicher merchak tabi lachma Takom bod laila titen ter leves chok lenaro seha some sada vitakacheu pri kapel nazar karem chagrab oz masneha tamed zro seha tam kitov sachrag lo yichab laila nera yadeha shilchabish shilchabakishor kapel tam chopala kafa parsalani yadeh shilcha levyam Lo sira levesam v'shalag hil kalbeis levushanim marvadim asala sheish v'agaman levusha noid v'sharam ba'ala v'shipta im ziknei oretz sadin asasavitim kar v'chagor nasnu kanani ois v'hadar levusha v'tischak l'yom ha'acharon pia pascha v'chachim v'saras cheser al-lashon ra hitzvia halichos beis ha'alechem hatzos lo socha Kamu baneha v'yashru ba'ala v'yalu Rabos banos oso halvat ali sal kulana shekar achen v'hevelal yofi isha irasad nahiti sala tnula mepriya decha v'yalu v'shorim ma'asecha It's customary to put a couple of shovels of earth in, the same way a mother tucks her children in, for a restful night's sleep. It's our way of, tucking her in for well-deserved rest. while we're filling in the grave, just want to mention there's going to be a 2:00 mincha at the home of Mordechai and Mary at 6833. North Kedzie, at Winston Towers, apartment 1502. And I also want to note the presence of a number of Rabbanim here today: Rabbi Weinschneider, Rabbi Notek, Rabbi Jakovsky, Rabbi Silver. And I apologize if I missed somebody else that I don't know. Rabbi Danishevsky. Okay, we're going to say another kapitel to Hill. I'm going to ask Rabbi Notek if he would lead us in a kapitel to Hillim here, and then we'll do Kaddish and Shura.
Shira Maile Saladinai Batsarasali Karasi Vayaneni Adino Yatsila Nafshi Mitzvah Sheker Miloshin Remio Ma Yitin Lecho Ma Yosef Lach Loshin Remio Chitze Gibishnunim Im Gachal Erisomim Oyoliki Garti Meshech Shachantim Olikedor Rabas Shachna Lo Nafshim Sene Shalom Ani Shalom Bechia Daver Heimolam Milchomo. Amen. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Yisbarech. Amen.